Probably everyone has heard the myth that cockroaches will survive a nuclear war. But is it really a myth? Or maybe not? Let's figure it out. Imagine this. Somewhere far away, a nuclear warhead explodes. First, a loud bang. Then a flash, brighter than the sun, a shockwave, and within seconds, everything turns into a fiery hell. Sounds like the start of a post-apocalyptic movie, right? But this isn't Hollywood. This is the scenario of a real nuclear war. So, what happens to living creatures in this case? Sadly, our chances are close to zero. Unless you're more than 100 kilometers away from ground zero or hiding in a bunker. And even if you somehow survive the initial blast, radiation and its consequences will make life on the surface nearly impossible. Most animals, especially large mammals, will share the same fate. And then we have these tiny, annoying, often gross little guys, cockroaches. These small armored tanks of nature have become a symbol of survival. But do they really have what it takes to outlive a nuclear apocalypse? Let's see. So, what exactly kills during a nuclear explosion? First, the shock wave. Anything not nailed down or buried gets thrown around, smashed, and destroyed. A cockroach is tiny, so sure, it can be blown away, but the odds of it being crushed are much lower than for, say, an elephant or even a human. Second, the fireball. At ground zero, the temperature is hotter than the surface of the sun, tens of millions of degrees Celsius. Cockroaches here would end up as crispy snacks in an instant, reduced to ash like everything else in the epicenter. But, and this is important, not all cockroaches will be right there at ground zero. Plenty will be farther away, hiding underground, in trees, or in your house. Third, radiation, the real killer. A nuclear blast leaves behind intense ionizing radiation and radioactive fallout that sticks around for a long time. Radiation damages DNA, causing mutations and cell death. In humans and most animals, this leads to deadly radiation sickness. Now, back to cockroaches. Why do we think they could survive? First, cockroaches aren't some kind of magical mutants. They just live at a different rhythm. Their cells divide more slowly than ours, and radiation hits hardest during cell division. That means cockroaches simply get caught by radiation less often. Second, experiments have shown that cockroaches can handle 6-15 times more radiation than humans. A lethal dose for a human is around 5 grays, while cockroaches can take up to 100. Impressive, right? But everything has a limit. If radiation is too extreme, even cockroaches will kick the bucket. And here's where we bust the myth. Cockroaches are not superheroes. They're not immortal, and they won't automatically become the rulers of Earth after a nuclear war. Their numbers would shrink drastically. But unlike us, they have a higher chance that at least some of them survive and reproduce like crazy. Because insects are breeding machines. Also, cockroaches are nocturnal. After an explosion, they'd likely hide in cracks underground, where radiation is weaker. That boosts their survival odds even more. Now picture this. Months after the blast, most large animals are gone. Plants are dying. Ecosystems are collapsing. Who's left? The least picky eaters. Cockroaches can munch on anything. Paper, glue, decaying bodies. Even in a ruined world, they'd still find food and carry on like nothing happened. But if radiation levels are way too high, cockroaches will also start mutating and dying. More often it's fatal genetic errors. So don't expect an army of giant mutants. So, to sum it up, cockroaches really do have a better shot at surviving nuclear war than we do. But they're not invincible. In the epicenter, they die just like us. Still, part of the population, especially those hiding deep, would likely make it through and keep multiplying. And if humanity ever presses that red button, Earth might just turn into the planet of cockroaches. Small, humble, but incredibly tough survivors. Kind of ironic, isn't it? A civilization that built rockets and cities could vanish because of its own stupidity, while cockroaches take over, happily feasting on the crumbs of our sandwiches. So maybe we should take better care of our planet and not test who's tougher in the end. Oh, and if you like this video, you can hit the like button and the red subscribe button. Don't worry, this one won't cause a catastrophe.